Imagine for a moment that life really is a game. Not the kind we play on screens, but the one played in every decision, every relationship, every moral choice. In this game, you don't get to choose the starting level. You don't design your character. You don't control the rules. But there is one thing you do control, your will. And that, according to Immanuel Kant, is the most powerful hack you will ever discover. Kant believed that life is not about winning. It's about playing rightly. Most people move through existence like players chasing points. Money, approval, attention, comfort. They think happiness is the reward for mastering the world. But Kant turned the idea upside down. He said, happiness is not the goal, goodwill is. In his words, nothing can be conceived in the world, or even out of it, which can be called good without qualification, except a goodwill. That is the ultimate cheat code. You see, in most games, you win by controlling the world. But in the game of life, you win by controlling yourself, your motives, your choices, your reasons for acting. Every time you choose to do what is right simply because it is right, you level up your soul. Most people play life like they're in survival mode. They react to every obstacle with fear, every challenge with frustration, every person as a threat or a tool. But Kant invites us to step back and play in a different way, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a rational being capable of freedom. Freedom, in the Kantian sense, is not doing whatever you want. It is the ability to act from reason, not from impulse. You hack life by mastering your own will, by refusing to be ruled by the emotional chaos of pleasure and pain. When you realize that the world cannot control your moral will, you stop playing for points. You stop chasing validation. You stop comparing your path to anyone else's. You begin to live by principle, not pressure. And something miraculous happens. The game changes. Challenges that once frustrated you become tests of character. People who once annoyed you become teachers in disguise. Every setback becomes a new level, inviting you to grow in wisdom, patience, and strength. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And begin asking, what kind of person will I choose to be through this? That shift is everything. Kant said that human dignity lies in our ability to act not from instinct, but from the moral law within. That law doesn't promise comfort. It promises meaning. It doesn't remove obstacles. It reveals who you truly are when faced with them. And that's the ultimate secret. Life's hack isn't to escape the game, but to play it with such integrity that the rules themselves can't defeat you. When you live by reason, the chaos around you stops being chaos. It becomes design. Every random event, every pain, every failure becomes an opportunity to strengthen your will. And as your will strengthens, so does your peace. You can lose the round, lose the job, lose the relationship, and still win at life. Because in Kant's world, the only real victory is moral victory. The only real loss is the corruption of your own principles. So how do you hack life? You stop trying to control the game, and you start mastering the player. Ethan Rivera used to think life was all about winning. He was 29, a software engineer at one of Silicon Valley's hottest startups, a company that built AI-driven mobile games. Ironically, he spent his days designing systems meant to keep players addicted. He loved it. At least, that's what he told himself. His resume was polished. His social media was immaculate. His bank account was full. But his mind? Always racing. His chest? Always tight. When he woke up, his first thought wasn't gratitude. It was competition. Who's ahead of me? What am I missing? At night, he'd scroll endlessly through the success of others, comparing, judging, burning silently inside. The game he'd built for others had started to consume him. Then came the crash. A product failed. A major investor pulled out. Suddenly, the company that had made him feel untouchable was falling apart. And when the layoffs came, his name was on the list. That night, he sat in his car for an hour, staring at the dashboard lights. His whole identity gone. The job title, the sense of progress, the illusion of control, all of it evaporated. He felt like a player who'd lost every life and didn't know how to start over. Level 1, the encounter. 2 weeks later, He wandered into a used bookstore to escape the noise of his thoughts. In the philosophy section, he picked up a weathered copy of Groundwork for the Metaphysics of Morals. Inside, someone had underlined a sentence. It is impossible to conceive anything at all in the world, or even out of it, which can be taken as good without qualification, except a good will. Something in those words hit him like a code unlocking in his mind. He muttered, "So, maybe I've been playing the wrong game." He bought the book and started reading. And what began as curiosity turned into transformation. Level 2, the test of will. Ethan began seeing life differently. When recruiters called with job offers that promised money but no meaning, he hesitated. Why do I want this? He'd ask himself. When friends pressured him to get back in the game, he'd smile and say, maybe I'm learning to play a different one. He started noticing his motives in every choice. Every small decision became a mirror. Was he acting from fear or from freedom? One afternoon, his former boss called with a tempting offer. Come back, she said. We'll double your salary. You'll lead the next big project. For a moment, his heart raced. That old thrill, status, security, applause came flooding back. But something deeper whispered, you already know how that game ends. He thanked her and declined. That night, he didn't celebrate. He didn't post an update. He just sat in silence, realizing for the first time that the simple act of saying no to what was wrong for him felt like peace. Kant would have called that autonomy, the moral will acting freely, guided not by desire but by duty to one's higher self. Level 3, the mirror of others. Weeks turned into months. Ethan began volunteering at a youth center, teaching kids basic coding. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt real. There, he met people who didn't care about algorithms or profits. They cared about learning, connection, kindness. One kid, Malik, asked him, why do you do this? You could make way more somewhere else. Ethan smiled. Because I don't need more. I just need to do what's right. In that moment, he realized something Kant had tried to teach all along. That happiness isn't something you chase. It's something that follows you when you live truthfully. He was earning less, but feeling more. He was working harder, but sleeping deeper. For the first time, he didn't feel like a player. He felt like a human being. Level 4, the challenge of integrity. Then, the real test came. A tech corporation approached the youth center with a sponsorship deal, millions in funding, computers, publicity. It could transform everything. But there was a catch. The deal required integrating a learning app that subtly collected kids' data. Ethan read the fine print. He knew exactly what it meant. It was manipulation disguised as education. Everyone on the board wanted a sign. It's for the greater good, they said. Think of the resources we'll have. Ethan stood up. If it violates their trust, he said, it's not good. The room went silent. One of the executives laughed. You're being idealistic. This is the real world. Ethan felt his pulse quicken. The easy move would have been to agree, to secure funding, to keep everyone happy. But the truth was louder than fear. He shook his head. If doing what's right makes me lose, then I'd rather lose. The deal collapsed. The company pulled out. Some colleagues turned cold. But months later, a local newspaper ran a small story about his stand. The piece went viral. Donations poured in, not from corporations, but from real people. The center thrived. Kant would have said, that's the moral law at work. Level 5, the freedom within. Years later, Ethan sat by a lake at sunset, older, calmer, wiser. He watched kids from the center playing, their laughter echoing through the air. He opened his old, marked-up copy of Kant and read a line aloud. Freedom is the capacity to begin spontaneously of oneself, a series of events in accordance with the laws of reason. He closed the book and whispered, that's the real hack. Life hadn't given him everything he wanted, but it had given him everything he needed. A clear mind, a steady heart, the kind of peace that comes not from winning, but from being free. He realized the final secret. You don't play life to win. You play to wake up. And when you do, you realize the rules were never against you. They were written for your growth all along. So yes, life is just a game. But the point isn't to beat others. It's to beat your own ignorance. The hack isn't control. It's clarity. It's remembering that every moment, every joy, Every struggle is an invitation to rise above impulse and choose what is right. That's how you hack life. By realizing you were never here to win it. You were here to understand it. If this story made you pause for even a moment, if it reminded you that you are more than your fears, more than your titles, more than the game itself, then don't just watch, act. Reflect. Comment below one truth you've discovered about your own game of life. And if you felt something shift inside you, if you want to keep growing, keep awakening, and keep seeing life through Kant's eyes, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and walk with us daily at Immanuel Kant Daily. Because this isn't just a channel, it's a movement for those who think deeply, live honestly, and choose freedom over illusion. Your next breakthrough might begin with the next video.